This meeting is being recorded.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bogey Proof. We got the full staff on tonight to do. We got a big schedule tonight. We got a full agenda. We got a little recap of the Century Tournament of Champions. Take a look at the Sony next week, and then we also got 2022 goals episode for the boys here, kind of across the board. Golf, personal life, whatever. We got a lot of different things we got to get to. So without further ado, where are we calling from, gentlemen, and what are we sipping on?
Who started?
Joseph?
Myself again.
Joseph.
All right. Down in Florida. Actually, I have a drink. Got just bourbon on the rocks, a little Basil Hayden, actually. So, I've had bourbon on the rocks probably almost 7 days in a row now because I've had to pick a range, and I have to go in a goddamn boat and scoop them out with a fucking thing. So I've just been dying, boys. It's just not what I've expected for the first week, but we're here, we're grinding, we're outside. So That's that. That's my life for you.
Man.
Eric, what about you, good sir?
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. I am in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's cold as fuck here. It was a high of like 30 today, which is cold as fuck for Virginia. And I'm sipping on some Four Roses Small Batch Select on the rocks, just like you, Joe.
The best. Nothing better.
Michael?
I love bourbon.
Yeah, I'm going with I'm out here in Ann Arbor. Just started second semester of grad school here, so
Congrats.
School, lots of fun going on. A spiked seltzer, the Shell House, straight from Trader Joe's, pomegranate. I'm gonna crack it right here for the fans.
That's a good crack.
Right.
Taste is solid. Taste is really solid. Kind of like tastes a lot like a lot of those other like diet, fruity soda kind of ones.
Yeah.
That the smell is a little off-putting.
All right. That's when we're gonna have to pour out into over some ice and let it breathe a little bit.
Yeah, like you need this with a couple of fresh pomegranates on top, maybe a slice of orange. That's where you need to be. Fontaine, let us know how your first 11 days of dry January is going.
Yeah.
11 days down, and the countdown is on for the end of this month. We've survived. I'll put it so far. I mean, body feels good. I think we're getting what we wanted out of this, but can't believe it's only been fucking 11 days. It's boring as hell. I got a Canada Dry Mandarin Orange Seltzer tonight, and I don't know. It's fine. it's just fine. I mean,
that's the type of drink you find at like a bodega.
Yeah,
like just like a random flavor of a normal beverage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's fine. The Four Roses Small Batch got me very jealous tonight, and any kind of bourbon on the rocks. I'm itching to get back, but especially like Eric said, it's cold as fuck. It's a high of 7 today in Connecticut. Like, what are we doing? And then I'm just in here drinking a fucking seltzer.
It's only in like the 70s.
Whatever. We'll get through dry January and we'll be better for it. So it's all part of the plan for 2022. But anyways, let's talk a little Century Tournament of Champions. Joey, I know you didn't get to watch too much, but did anybody else get to kind of catch a little primetime golf this weekend? And what were your kind of takeaways from the pretty exciting and record breaking week at the Century Tournament Champions at Kapalua this weekend?
I think to repeat what Michael may or may not have said a few weeks ago, Cameron Smith is going to win the Masters.
Yeah. I actually listened to our episode that he said that in. It was the 2021 season recap on the men's PGA Tour side. So
live on Spotify.
All the followers
on Spotify.
Live everywhere. So yeah, make sure you go and listen to that. But that Mikey did put that stake in the ground that has been officially claimed. So, and I agree. I mean, it's been talked about before with Kapalua, just the way the elevation and the slopes and the nonsense that goes on around there. It's very Augusta vibes of like, you're never hitting a flat lie there. And it doesn't play 7,700 yards like it says it does, just due to the firmness, fastness, and slopes. So yeah, Cam Smith.
I think some people kind of thought it was a little gimmicky, but I loved Nota Bogey walking around with the level.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That and the that little graphic they had like when Noda wasn't on, but like on the side where it showed like, you know, player pinning like an up or down and like 31
Yeah,
feet,
yeah.
30 feet. Like that just puts so much context that makes it like, it makes you understand how good they are to make it look that easy, right? Like otherwise you just see, you know, the views of Hawaii and then them hitting a 7-iron to 6 feet and you're like, wow, that was easy. But then you look, it's like, oh, that was 40 feet downhill and he landed it like in the perfect spot. Like all those different factors involved. It was cool. I like those new things that kind of came with the updated ESPN Plus broadcast.
Yeah, I'd say that's kind of my takeaway. Obviously, record breaking, you know, week for multiple people,
Yeah.
right? You know, as it's been said, Cam Smith 34 under, all-time record to par. You got John Rahm close second, 33. Matt Jones. For people getting into golf, watch Matt Jones play and emulate how he plays golf, because he looks like he hasn't even he doesn't even put the club down, and then he just fires.
Yeah.
So he's fun to watch.
19 under on the weekend for him too.
And it's just like, I think it was more than that. I think it was,
or no, you're right. It was
like 23 under.
Yeah, I would say his
Like-
his worst round on the weekend was 11 under. So
Yeah.
riddle me that. And he came in third like by 5 shots.
Yeah, and he's I don't know. It's cool to watch too, because he's not 30, right? He's like in his mid 40s. Hits it hard, gets around, plays really well. So he's fun to watch, for sure. But yeah, Cam Smith was impressive. I think his golf swing looks a little tighter than it did 6 months ago. Looks way tighter than it did a year and a half ago. So looking
A little
for him.
pop.
Yeah, a little pop, but just like a steadier club face at the top.
Yeah.
You know, it was a
A
little
little
wonky.
less of that hitch up there.
Yeah, it was a little wonky. But yeah, a lot of fun. And we talked about it on the last podcast, Matt. Like it's the perfect casting to start a season. Beautiful views, primetime television, golf course was gettable. Just shows you how good these guys are. And, you know, it's been kind of echoed everywhere. A soft golf course with no wind, they will tear it up. So like if a scratch golfer goes out there, they maybe shoot a couple under to a couple over on a normal day, and that's a really good round. That's a really good round. And the person that came in last in this field was like 7 or 8 under for the week. So pretty cool, a lot of fun. Every year it does it for me. I enjoy it.
I truly enjoy Century Tournament Champions. And the last thing I'll say on it is John Rahm, like, it's nothing against him. Like, he's doing everything in his power. Like, he set the scoring record until Cam Smith tapped in right after him and beat it, you know, like, but he is wasting like 18 months of just absolutely elite golf to only have one win. I know it was a major and thank God it was, but like, there's ebbs and flows to golf, as everybody proves out. Like, you can only sustain this level that he's at for so long. And unless your name's Eldrick Woods, like, nobody has done it like consistently for more than like a year. Like, I mean, look at how awesome DJ was 15 months ago. And he's like, you don't even think about him anymore right now. I mean, obviously you do, but you know, it's like, he's like probably 4th or 5th on your list. So it's like Rahm is dangerously close, I think, kind of, you know, just kind of coming back to earth a little bit, because he's been so good. And all he got out of this 18-month stretch of like almost perfect golf is one win. And I just think it's something to be like recognized that, like, dude, he's going to look back at this and be like, how the fuck did I only win one time? And he has like, what, 20 top threes? Like, you know, like, he's always right there. It just, he's going to kind of, I think at the end of this, I mean, he's a guy that's obviously going to kind of grade himself on majors at the end of the day. I don't think he's going to care if he wins 15 times or 25 times on the PGA Tour. I think it's all going to be about majors for him. But man, did he let like a ridiculous window of golf being played. Just like, not that he let it slip through the cracks. He didn't do anything wrong in his losses. It's just like, God, he had so many chances to get like, just rack up like 3 or 4 really quick. And he just wasn't able to do that somehow. It's mind boggling to me. I can't figure out like what else he could have done differently, but I also know that he should have won more than one time in the last 18 months. And it's crazy, but
he could have not gotten COVID.
Sure.
That is one. Fair.
Yeah.
Again, I
think-
don't know what he's gonna do about that, but yeah.
Yeah, Matt, I think it's interesting, and I think we'd be remiss not to talk about it. Is like, I think the difference between him and Dustin Johnson is he is a far superior putter than Dustin Johnson ever has been, and I think the ball striking is like getting to Dustin Johnson realm right now. So I think that's the reason I see a lot of being a little more sustained is that like because he's such a good putter, he's going to have weeks where he doesn't hit it great and his average is still better than most of the tour.
Yeah.
But like, I just think, like you're saying, he's just got to like the mojo's just got to switch a little bit and he can play average and still win a bunch. So like, I think it's just a matter of time before it happens. And he maybe wins, 5 times in 10 starts or 5 times in 8 starts. I think that's out there. What still blows my mind is like for someone who's improved a ton as far as not being quite as angry out there on the golf course, he is still probably the most demonstrative player on the PGA Tour. Like he is like complaining about the greens or complaining about the read or complaining about the conditions, like every single shot.
Yeah, you hear him say there's no fucking way like every 3 seconds. Like there's no way that goes left. There's no way that like 7-iron goes that far. Like there's no like you hear that a lot out of them too, which maybe that's part of it, right? Like you hear a lot of guys like those elite level golfers of, the Rorys, the DJs, the, Jordan Spieth, Tiger, whatever, right? Those guys always talk about finding a way to win when you don't have your A game because your A game only shows up so many times. It's like I feel like Jon Rahm just had his A game for 18 months and didn't find a way to win. It's like, is he now going to be able to win some of those things, maybe take a step back or come back to earth, like you're saying with the ball striking? Does he have that kind of, X factor, whatever it is inside him to just find a way to win? And then and from there, once those other things come back, maybe you got a little bit more grit to him. And then you said rack him up like 4 and 10 starts, whatever it may be. So just something there with Jon Rahm that just, I feel like it's like, how does this guy keep playing so good, setting records and just still not winning? It's just baffling to me that it's like the best stretch of golf we've seen in quite some time and got little than that. Like Cam Champ won more times than him in the last 18 months. Like what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, granted a US Open versus like the 3M and whatever else and like the Sanderson Farms or whatever, but still something there. But anyways, moving on to the Sony at Wiley. I don't know. Didn't right. But anyways, moving on to the Sony. Another, out in Hawaii, so we'll get primetime golf again this week. And again, shout out to the ESPN Plus coverage. I enjoyed it. I mean, they even said this is just their basics, and they're trying to add like a few different options for you to view, and they're planning to have that up and running by Tori, I believe. But looking forward to watching primetime golf, looking forward to the ESPN Plus stream. And the field definitely takes a step back this week as kind of everybody heads back stateside and gets ready for the California swing, and quite a bit of golf coming up for the PGA Tour in February, March, and, gearing up for Augusta. So a lot of guys kind of take this next week off and either stay in Hawaii and do some family time or head back to Cali and make sure no COVID issues are there and kind of get ready to kickstart their seasons. But you guys got any thoughts on the Sony? Anybody you're keeping an eye on this week or anything, golf course, anything special besides those trees that make a W behind the 16th or 17th hole, whatever that is?
I think I was gonna say Fontaine. I think.
Damn, I took it from you. Sorry.
Yeah. Come on, you're stealing my thunder there, bud.
Only thing I got is I don't know if you guys saw the Charles Howell stat.
Mm-hmm.
He's the all-time leading money winner at the Sony and has never won the event.
Yeah.
It's the only event that the all-time leading money winner has never won the event.
Love that. I think he's made every cut that he's played in, and he had of the cuts he's made, I think half of them he was top 10 too, or something crazy like that. I remember probably Justin Ray. Shout out Justin Ray. He's almost always got all those kind of wonky stats, but I did see that on Twitter. It's fucking nuts.
I mean,
watch out for Sanjay. That's all.
I bet on in top 10.
Had a good week.
Yeah, he did. I hit him for top 10 this week. I think that's freaking.
You just got to be careful. You got to make sure you get someone who can hit the ball right to left, because there's a huge advantage to be able to draw the ball off the tee this week. Short par fives that you can cut corners. some tighter holes that really being able to, get the ball elevated and get it moving right to left for a right-hander, hit that draw is really beneficial. Probably a reason why Charles Howe has done so great. Guys hit low draws for 25 years on the PGA Tour, and he's still doing
Missiles.
it. And then trying to think, I'm really excited to see Bryson. Bryson committed late last week.
Dropped.
What?
He dropped like yesterday.
Yeah.
What the? Jeez, I was excited to watch.
They put up. They were already putting up a new net for him on the range and everything.
God
That's
damn.
hilarious.
Yeah, Bryson. I'm over the Bryson show. Although, actually, that does remind me, he finally wore a normal fucking hat last week. So maybe hopefully that sticks around, because I immediately was less angry watching him the whole day, because I'm not like, normally the second he pops on the screen, I'm like, here we fucking go, but like, because he had a normal hat on, he kind of blended in for 2 seconds. I just watched the golf shot. I was like, whoa, that's cool. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, that was Bryson. I was like, well, whatever, like it took my guard down a little bit. And it's I hope he just does that going forward. It's just so unnecessary at this point, but that was, he got us there, Bryson.
And now it's talking Bryson.
I mean, and not to like talk too much about like winners or who's going to play well, but like we got to think Cam Smith is going to continue, right? He's won here before. We've seen people double down in Hawaii before win both tournaments. So it wouldn't look too far, from past winners and, a guy that got it done last week.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think it's a fun golf course. I love the contrast between watching Kapalua and then watching Wailea. Classic golf course requires a ton of shot shaping, and also the ability, like you have to be able to go low. So it comes down to who makes a bunch of putts, right? We've had guys like Kevin Na win, so a pretty cool mix of ball striking and putting the ball. So I'm excited. Primetime golf can't get much better. I don't care where they're playing.
Oh yeah, agreed. I think that's something we can all agree on, is primetime golf is just the best. But without further ado, I think it's time we crack into some 2022 goals across the board for us four. Maybe, a partial grade on yourself for what you did in 2021 as well. But before we do that, just want to remind all of our listeners that we are running the Daily Fantasy Cup through Bogey Proof this 2022 PGA Tour season. Fantasy golf, DraftKings lineups. We got 15-week season we're going to do with weekly payouts and then a season-long kind of FedEx Cup style, ultimate championship for the season-long thing as well. No like bracket playoffs like they do in like fantasy football or anything like that. It's kind of like FedEx Cup you build. And then in the 15th week, only 10 of the 20 people in the field will be able to enter in that final week and play for, I think it's like $1,500 to go to first, $400 to second, $100 back to third. So if you're interested, please reach out to anybody, any one of us on the Bogey Proof staff, DM us on Instagram, whatever you got to do. We have a handful of spots left maybe. So if you are interested, make sure you reach out and kind of send over your DraftKings info, your Venmo info, and we'll get that started. Looking forward to doing that this year. It'll be something different and a new way to interact with our listeners out there.
Yeah, if one of your personal goals for 2022 is to make some extra cash, and you think you're better at gambling, and you think the game of golf better than these chumps out here, sign up. It's easy money, right? So
easy money.
If you think you're capable, you think you want to make a little extra money, send us a direct message, or send TJ with Daily Fantasy Cup a direct message, and we'll set you guys up.
Absolutely. Anyways, 2022 goals, gentlemen. Do we want to start a quick recap of what our 2021 goals were, and if we hit those, and if those carry over into 2022, or do we just want to start with a clean slate in 2022?
Clean slate, baby.
All right. All right, Joseph.
And that's not because we don't remember. It's just we have such quick, we forget about the past and we move on. So
I nailed them. That's all I'll say.
I was gonna say, Joey, if anybody did, it was probably you. I mean, you got that PAT last year, so that must have been the top goal, right? So check that one off.
No, you make a very good point there. My brain doesn't even go there. Good job. Good day.
I'm on it.
You.
I'm on it. So with that being said, should you kick off your 2022 goals, Joey? Are you ready for us, or should we go around?
No, yes. I mean, so
We're going golf. Let's focus golf, and then we'll get
focus
into
go. No, I think I've either mentioned it before or just mentioned it to you guys like off the show. But I think my goal this year is just becoming a more consistent golfer. I mean, I don't want to go out there and shoot, a few over par, and then the next day go ahead and shoot like 12 over par. That's, it's like it's.
fun.
I know I'm way better than that, but it's, at the same time I'm not, because I'm still always doing it. So it's just getting rid of all those little mistakes that I consistently make. And just try to have a consistent golf game and shoot in the 70s a lot more often than I do.
And is your game plan or whatever you want to call it for that? Is that, do you have a focus or like a specific plan for consistency, or is it like, hey, let's just get better, and then like as you get better, maybe have a better thought process out there?
In my mind, what I need to improve on the most would be short game. Definitely short game, just around the greens in general, and even 100 yards and in. And I mean, I told you guys my driver has been non-existent for the past fucking 2 years, it feels like. So just kind of getting that T-ball back. And I think if I could really put those two pieces together, like overall, I'm fairly confident in my irons, especially when I'm hitting them well.
Mm-hmm.
And my putting, my stroke's gotten a lot better in that too. Like, and I know it's just a matter of time before they start falling. So, yeah. I mean, my biggest focus is to grind on the short game a lot more, and, still even putting more so, but I haven't had time to yet, which sucks, but that's kind of just going to be the goal for this season.
Yeah. And that's also, I mean, be interesting to see that journey with like trying to add a driver back to the bag, which is like the most inconsistent of all things, like trying to get more consistent while also figuring out your driver. Like that's two very like contradictory.
I played so many rounds, like just not hitting it. Like even the 2 rounds that I played, like on my drive down here, I didn't hit it that often just because I didn't have confidence in it.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I do? I mean, at times I was just hitting it to try to figure it out, but
yep.
At the end of the day, you do want to play good golf, and like, what your fairway finder is, and if you can get away with it or not. So, yep. But yeah, I mean, I would say that's overall my biggest golf goal, just consistency.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a common one, especially when you kind of get, like you're saying, right? Like you want to tighten that gap from your highs to your lows, from like, 12, 13 over to that 2 over around. Like that's probably a very popular goal for that handicap range of like that. When that's your window, all you want to do is just keep that number starting with a 7, like all year long. That's all you want.
Exactly. That's all I really kind of go for. And I mean, I guess just trying not to put as much pressure on myself to have so much, like play so well. It's like, no, just go out there and just enjoy it. I mean, at the end of the day, you get to play golf for free like every day of my life. So should probably
be sweet. It's pretty
probably smiling about that overall. But
yeah. I think you're coming out on top overall with that one for sure.
Overall, but it's frustrating. A game that I usually play in practice every single day, and you don't see improvements often. Like you do, but the result just isn't always there, and it's frustrating. So, as you guys know,
oh yeah,
as a lot of people do,
it's the hardest game in the world.
Yeah, fucking right, boy. But yeah, who's next?
You pass the torch, Joe. Who do you want to go next?
We'll go to Eric. It's been a while. Let's hear from you, buddy.
All right. So I know we didn't like formally do a 2022 personal or 2021 personal goals episode last year, but some of the stuff that I can remember, one relates to one of my goals this year that I did accomplish, which was qualify for the Virginia State Mid-Am. Mm-hmm. I didn't ultimately end up playing. I had to withdraw because of work things, but checked the qualifying box off. Mm-hmm. So this year we're going to not only hope to play in it, but we're going to make a goal, make the cut. So the Virginia Mid-Am's a little different than most state Mid-Ams, where it's not 2-round stroke play and then match play. It's just 4-round stroke play. So so there's a 2-round cut, and hopefully we can make it past there. The guy that won it last year just decided to turn pro and made it onto the Corn Ferry Tour this year. So
Okay.
and Mark Lawrence.
Good.
Here we go. Giddy up.
You're better.
So now that he's out of the mix, anything can happen.
There you go. It's an open home field, baby. I like that.
But other than that, kind of like, I guess a little along the same lines as Joe. Golf swing related, I've been putting in a little bit of work this winter on a TrackMan and trying to learn how to like truly compress a golf ball again.
Yeah.
Learn how to properly hit a wedge and
Nope.
go.
Is that me frozen or
No,
Eric?
Eric kind of skipped out after how to properly hit a wedge.
Yeah, I need to learn how to do that too.
That's a common one for sure.
Yeah.
Mikey, jump in.
Yeah. No, Fontaine. Yeah, Fontaine. Give us your little rundown here. If Eric unfreezes, we'll catch back up with him on his
All right.
goal and how to properly, hit those
There.
wedges.
So those are the main golf related goals.
And we're back.
Oh, good.
You froze.
I can hear you guys that whole.
Yeah, you
No,
froze.
no,
You froze after
yeah.
properly hit a wedge. So
I can hear you guys the whole time. So that was weird.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
Synopsis. Yeah. Properly hit a wedge. What is that?
compress the
gonna lead
golf
to?
ball, make the
Yeah.
cut.
And yeah, I was I guess pretty proud of 2021 on the golf course. So let's keep it going from there.
Absolutely, we love it. So we like to see. All right, so 2021, we'll call that give myself a B, maybe a B minus. We didn't get involved in any of the amateur stuff like I wanted to. I tried. I was too late. I actually did like set up the account and try to go pick a qualifier, and I was too late. So progress we'll take, but still didn't get there. I really only played like 2 like truly like competitive rounds last year where like, in a tournament where like you had to put the ball in the hole every time and like stuff like that, where it's like I need more from that. And I think because of the lack of those on the schedule, I kind of let the game slip a touch and I dripped down to like a 2. So goal for 2022 is to get back to like scratch or plus on the handicap side. And then I think in part of that, like getting, how do I want to say this? I think the way to do that is just like actually having like this has to happen like the next month or 2 here is like truly set like a schedule to like qualify for those amateurs. So once they're on my schedule, like, pride kicks in and I'm going to practice more whether I want to or not, because I don't want to go out there and shoot 78 and like waste $150 to go, like, so it's like holding myself accountable to put the stuff on the schedule, whether it's the Connecticut State Am, Mid Am, Connecticut Open, whatever, just finding things where it's like a true stroke play. You put the ball in the hole, like give me something to practice for. And then also 2022 goal is like on top of that, it's like kind of they all tie together. Hopefully here is like figure out where the hell I'm going to be playing golf this year, because the kind of just free agent life has just been a little bit like it's great. I like playing a lot of different courses. There's fun in that, but I need to like if I'm going to really work on my game and practice, like I can't be going and buying shitty range balls and hitting off mats for $12 every couple weekday afternoons. Like it's fine. It's practice. It doesn't hurt, but I need to have a better environment to actually like truly improve on. Like I need a grass range. I need short game area. I need, a true putting green, not like a like turf one that's like not even real grass, like things like that all kind of go to just like, I think the overall goal is getting back in the plus on the handicap or at least at scratch. In order to do that, those are my steps of like, hey, schedule the AM events, like the true, like real golf events, we'll call them, right? Like none of the like 4 balls are fun, but like that's not real golf all the time. And then, figure out like whether it's a membership or a range membership somewhere that's got a better facility for me, whatever that ends up being, really focus on getting that shit set up in the next couple of months. And then that will lead to like April, May, June, July, just being way more productive and more efficient, golf for me. So that's what we're focused on 2022, just getting better in one way or the other, and setting myself up to do so instead of waking up in July and being like, I don't know where I'm going to play this weekend. I guess we'll try and find a deal on golf now that I can play before 2:00 in the afternoon. Like that's just, it's fun to do that sometimes. And like, depending on, who I'm playing with, the type of golf I want to play, like it's fine, but I want to have a little bit better of a regimen for 2022. Mikey, how about yourself?
Yeah. I guess recap of 2021. One of the big goals was to get to Ireland. I think we had been working on that for 18 months at that point before we finally got there. So outside of competitive golf and all that other good stuff, we got over there. We experienced, some pretty spectacular golf and just awesome culture, and just makes me want to itch to, travel and play overseas again and get back to Ireland, get to Scotland, even England. Like there's some links course in the rotation that like, I wish I could be over there tomorrow. I would say from a competitive golf standpoint, probably like a C plus. I didn't try to qualify for a ton, but did some USGA stuff with the USAM and the Mid-Am, and was proud of myself for going out there and playing okay, but was not what I'm capable of doing. I think I played some really cool golf courses and did some traveling to do some of those events, and I wouldn't take it back, but inherently it puts a lot of pressure on you when you go and you travel to do some of these things, and fly out somewhere or drive somewhere far away and get a hotel and do all this kind of stuff and take time off of work. It's just like it's a big investment into it, and I've gone back and forth kind of playing competitive golf really the last 10 years and figuring out what works best. And I think I'm starting to lean towards the majority of the qualifiers, the majority of what you do needs to be closer to home. I just think logistically it makes a lot of sense, and the additional strain of being able to get to a meeting in the afternoon if that's what you have to do, or to not spend the entire day driving, don't have to get up at 5 a.m. to drive 3 hours to get your tee time. So I think that's something I learned from not doing great in that space. Was excited to have qualified for the Illinois Open. That again will be on my 22 list. So as far as competitive golf goes, I'm trying to figure out exactly what the schedule looks like, but it'll be qualifiers for US Mid-Am and USAM. It will be qualifiers for Mass Open, Illinois Open, and then I would love to play in Michigan Am now that I'm living here, and I have a decent amount of flexibility this summer. So I'm probably going to try to play in maybe 3 state events. Not one in Mass, one in Illinois, because I technically still have an address there. My billing address is there. And after qualifying for the Illinois Open last year, really well-run tournament, great field, difficult golf course. Definitely want to try to do that again. And they do qualifiers at the same spot. And the qualifier they did last year is like one of my all-time favorite golf courses. So definitely got to do that. And just trying to get my game to peak at those tournaments. I think that's something I need to figure out what the formula is for that. My game this summer was probably as good as it's ever been, as far as being able to go out there and shoot 2, 3, 4, 5 under, and that happened. It's just, I need that to happen in the events, and I think I've gotten to a place where I can go and shoot even par in a tournament, but how do I break through past that? And how do I consistently qualify, right? If I'm going to play in 4 events, 4 qualifiers, I would love to qualify for 3 of them. I think that would be a huge breakthrough. I think the last handful of years I've tried to qualify for 3 or 4, and I probably qualify for 1 or 2 at most. So I think kind of breaking that down and being more consistent, kind of Joe and Eric were echoing, and that should show in qualifying and performing well on kind of these state Am and state Open scales, and then continue to. I've really enjoyed the last few years traveling and playing new golf courses. So I have a couple on my list, that I would really like to play. And now living in Michigan, there's quite a few really good golf courses that I haven't had a chance to play in the state. So exploring the state, exploring kind of the new region and playing some good golf courses is also on my 22 list as well.
Yeah. It's all good stuff, boys. We got a lot of plans for the golf course in 2022. It's we're all at a point where it's like, work, life, golf balance is like a thing to juggle, right? Like we're not all like college, we're playing 6 days a week, and we're all kind of, handful of years into our careers now, and it's like there's a juggle there. Like I'm sure Joey working at a golf course, like after he works his 60-80 hour week, whatever it is, it's like, do I want to hang around the golf course more? Like probably not, like, so it's like finding ways to get better and enjoy it without making it seem like a job or anything like that is definitely, kind of plays a role in all this too. But
I just
outside of golf,
I want to add one thing in here on the note of Mike's addresses across the country. When we were in college, he used my parents' address in Connecticut to, I think, sign up for a Met event.
Yeah, I signed up for a Met event, and then on like the third hole of the tournament, I hit it in a creek, and I tried to play it, and I hit a rock, and I like jarred my shoulder, and I think it like popped out and popped back in, and I had to withdraw after doing that whole thing.
Good times.
For like 3 years after that, my parents had a subscription to Met Golfer magazine.
Yeah, I remember that. I went all the way to West Point to play in a tournament, and I made like a double or something on the first hole. Nothing, like, not good. I don't know what I made. Maybe a bogey or something. And I kind of hit a not so great tee shot. I hit it in a creek, and I legitimately like separated my shoulder on the second hole they're out, and then I had to freaking drive 3 hours back home.
Tough day. That's a tough day.
I like woke up at 5 a.m.
These are the stories of amateur like competitive golf that the people need to know. This is the grind that we go through to try and get the competitive juices flowing here and there on the golf course.
Yeah, and I think I don't know what year that was, but I think I don't know what it was, but I just remember I was like legitimately hurt for like 3 weeks. So I like couldn't even play golf beginning of the summer.
Man.
Tough look. You win some, you lose some. Can't win them all.
But realistically, I'm eligible to play in 3 state golf associations. So you're going to see me all around the country.
Touring amateur, they call it.
Possibly an invitational somewhere along the lines, somewhere else. So you could all over the place. But
hell yeah,
we're going to move on from golf because this is not just a golf podcast and a golf content producer. Food and booze are very, very important to us. We will. Can you guys hear me right now?
I thought it was me again.
I think that was me on my end. So we'll cut that out a little bit, in the editing booth, because we
lost after food and booze are important.
Yeah, food and booze are very important to this podcast. Content creation across the board, beyond just golf. I have a question for y'all. So I want to know, and we'll start with Mr. Fontaine, then we'll go to Eric, to Joe, kind of around the board for what I see you guys on my screen right now. What is going to be the dish or the technique in the kitchen that you perfect in 2022 that is going to wow the crowds? When they come over for a dinner party, when Allie comes over for dinner, a little date night, how are you going to wow the crowds?
All right, perfect just seems like a strong word to use for this.
Not at all.
But we're gonna learn how to make risotto this year. That's 2022 for me. 2021 was the year of seafood, we're gonna call it. I started embracing it. Like I was always like, if I'm going out to like a truly nice dinner where it's like they have like legitimate seafood options and stuff like that, I always kind of just was like, I'll get the steak or, you know, something like along those lines, or even Italian, right? I was always like a pasta dish. Like now, if I'm getting a pasta dish, I'm usually making sure there's seafood in it, or I'm getting like a seafood entree at an Italian restaurant, whatever. So I definitely have dabbled more in that, like, you know, scallops, whatever it may be, salmon dishes. So what usually goes well with those, if it's an entree, is risotto, right? So like seafood risottos, whatever. And it's just something that I never even thought to make at home, but it's like, why the hell not? If we're gonna set a goal for food, like let's set a goal here. You know, let's put some effort into this. And I think risotto is gonna be where we go. I mean, I've always kind of heard that it's like, you know, hard to make. It's not just, you know, it's not something you just throw on the stove and you come back in 20 minutes and it's ready for you. Like there's like, you know, technique, like there's certain things you have to do correctly, or otherwise it isn't good. So a little challenge in the kitchen, you know, we're all about embracing challenges here at Bogey Proof, and 22-year food for me is going to be risotto. We're going to figure out how to do that to go along with my seafood. That's going to be my wow meal. That, I mean, we're going to have definitely a couple cracks at it before we get something any decent, but we're going to start that process soon. I think we're going to give that a run, hopefully in the next couple weeks here. And then who was next, Mikey? Eric?
Yeah, go to Eric. Go to Eric. We'll see
Eric,
what,
what's the
All right. So Matt, I'm gonna follow your kind of template that you laid out there with 2021. And for you, it was the year of seafood. I would say for me, 2021 in the kitchen was the year of being a copycat. I really enjoyed 2021 going to a restaurant, picking out something that I thought was great about the meal that I had, and then trying to recreate it myself. I had a lot of fun. I ended up this year making ceviche, beef tartare, stuff that you wouldn't typically think about making at home, like stuff that's raw, stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it's not that challenging to make, but it was really fun. So moving on from that, going into this year, I think I'm gonna transition it more into being more creative in the kitchen. I want to, and I've started a little bit, but coming up with more of my own things in the kitchen rather than the copycat theme that we followed last year. It was fun, but it kind of got a little stale towards the end of the year when I just can't coming up with the same ideas as that we've already made 3 times this year. So I think that's the main goal in the kitchen for this year. But yeah, I think with COVID in general, though, as probably everyone in the world did, cook more, and it's turned into a little bit of a hobby, you could call it. I wouldn't call golf a hobby of mine, so I'd say cooking is probably one of my primary hobbies at this point. But all right, Master Chef himself, Joey.
Master Chef Joe. All right. Well, we're going to keep this one simple for you, boys. Seeing I don't cook in general, how about my goal is to just start cooking, because I'm not going to try to perfect dish when I don't even make any dishes. So, like, I think that would be my overall goal as far as that goes, is just to try to actually make food and not always get fucking takeout and eat microwave meals and fucking oven pizzas. So maybe we just try to make things here and there. Nothing I'm perfecting. I can't really think of anything else that I would make, but how about I just try to start cooking more? Is that fair?
That's fair.
yeah.
You know, we need it's all about balance here.
You know, I mean, I'm not going to over deliver to you guys. I can't promise you I'm going to perfect no meal, because I don't even know how to cook in general.
Well, Joe, that's why you just got to listen to me. You make ceviche and beef tartare. There's no cooking involved. It's all raw.
Dude, I don't even know what the freak you're saying. Speaking another language to me, Eric.
Good stuff. That's what we wanted out of you, Joe. That's the perfect answer.
I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'll keep it real, but it's definitely something I do need to I want to get into and learn how to do. But at the same time, when I'm getting home like later at night, it's like the last thing I really want to do is cook a meal right now.
I can appreciate that as well.
It's just a tough life out here.
Michael,
All right, Michael, finish us off.
take us home.
Yeah.
Give us something good.
Little 2-part answer for you. In the end of 2021, it was my first experience making a beef Wellington. So in 2022, and it came out really very, 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 very solid. 2022, we are going to encase more meats in pastry, and we're going to see what we can do. We're going to get a little creative with it. We're going to make a little single serving, different concoctions. So that's part one. And then part two is more of an effort thing. This is something I already do, but I do it periodically on, maybe once a week, maybe a couple times a month. I want to be better about marinating things. It is
like that.
such an easy thing to do, and I do not do it enough, and it just ups the level of quality to whatever you're doing. Whether it's, you getting a relatively cheap piece of beef, right? A skirt steak or something, marinate it for 3-4 hours. Easy. Soy sauce, citrus, cilantro, salt, pepper, like garlic powder, just like simple. But doing that at 8 o'clock in the morning, or over my lunch break if I'm working remotely, it just makes it that much better at the end of the day. Chicken, and kind of along that marinade thing, let's make some homemade salad dressing. Like let's get creative, let's get fresh, and let's add a little punch to our stuff. So those are just effort things. I have everything to do that. That takes 30 seconds, right? That's like throwing a few things, give a little shake, and just moving on with my day. But I gotta put in the effort. I gotta do it. I gotta slice a couple lemon wedges. So boom. So that's kind of personal goal, mostly effort, but also want to perfect encasing meats with puff pastry. And then let's move on. So beyond food, kind of last category for tonight. I know we're going a little bit long. What's dinner? What's a meal without a cocktail, right? So, Joseph, we know you've been big on bourbon and seltzers in 2021. What does 2022 look like from an alcohol perspective? Maybe give us what's your go-to. What are you sipping on most nights? Maybe it's bourbon, kind of like you said before. And then what's kind of something outside the box that you want to try?
Usually when I'm out, I usually try to get like a good old fashioned. Enjoy me one of those. That's kind of a go-to. If it's on the menu, which it's very rare to see, good old Tom Collins. Love me one of those. A nice little gin in there, right? And granted, you go to a Mexican place, you got to get a nice margarita. Like I just had, what did I, 3 margaritas last night, 2 nights ago? That's beside the point. No, I don't know. I've never really thought like of something like a drink I'd want like get into. I don't like tequila unless it's in margaritas, honestly, or tequila sunrise. Maybe I just don't like tequila shots.
Maybe the Jose Cuervo shots at Patty's weren't a very good representation of what.
No, never,
like.
never. I don't know. I'm not big of a guy for change. I think I might just stick with my fucking bourbon and I enjoy my seltzers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the same average Joe that I am, but like
no
I don't change as it is. So
hey, it's the year of consistency. It's the year of consistency across the board.
There you go. Carry that through into your drinking too.
That's why we keep you around.
You can't expect a consistent golf game if you're shocking the body with a new cocktail every week.
I will say, actually, I've been meaning to ask you guys: have you tried like the Whistle Pig seltzers or whatever they are? You know, what I'm talking
heard
about.
Good things. Have not tried them yet though.
I had those when I was in Savannah. I bought one and then they gave me one for free because a kid opened it on accident. It was the one I've had. They're like 8%. I was fucking buzzed off of 2 of them. It was fantastic.
Is it dark liquor?
It's whiskey.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a whiskey
canned cocktail.
Yeah, cocktail. There we go. But yeah, no, highly suggest if you could find those. I think it was like a black cherry lemon type flavor that was, I don't know. It was good, but yeah, highly suggest those.
All right.
I got hammered in Savannah, actually. That was fun. Literally just went bar hopping, just got
Hey,
another one and went to the next
Joe,
one.
can I share some information with you?
Absolutely.
Every bartender in America can make a Tom Collins.
No, I know that, but like, nah, but like, I don't like asking for one because like it's just.
As standard can get.
Nah, I don't feel like if it was standard, I feel like it'd be on like I don't know.
Well, they don't
I
put like a vodka
I got
soda
it
on
out
their
in
menus.
at a
Exactly.
restaurant in Northampton, and it was on the menu. Like that was the first time I ever heard of it and ever had it, and it was like the best one I've ever had. So I only trust them if they're on the menu.
I wouldn't base your expectations on what Northampton puts on their menus for sure. And
No, it's that
like-
one restaurant that's there. I forget what it's called, but
and I think
It's
point
3
Eric's trying to
ingredients.
make is like they don't put vodka sodas on the menu, but you still get those.
yeah, but Tom Collins, I don't know. I never heard.
Just a fancy name.
Never heard
It's
of it.
like calling a vodka cranberry a Cape Codder.
I disagree. I feel like Tom Collins has got a little bit different. I like to think of it as more of a special case.
Do you know the 3 ingredients in a Tom Collins?
At the top of my head, it's like what lemon juice, gin, and fucking club soda or
There you go.
seltzer,
You're
Yeah,
higher.
either or.
they
But I
got
feel like
they
there's
got
a
those
little
behind the bar, my
something
man.
else. I feel like there's a little something else. I don't remember.
No, there's not anything else.
Maybe a little garnish, but that's
The one that I had at that restaurant, there's a little something else that was delicious. All right, leave me alone.
all right. So maybe they had a special one. That's fair. Maybe they had a little Tom
Maybe they
Collins with a
put-
twist.
I was gonna
Put
say,
a little elderflower in there.
or a little rosemary. You know,
I hate
sometimes,
rosemary,
sometimes
so
they
no.
burn a little rosemary on there.
Rosemary's stupid. It tastes like
Could
a
have been
fucking
some-
Christmas tree.
Could have been some Saint Germain, Joe, with a little elderflower liqueur.
Maybe.
Whew.
I know. I saw that
Yeah,
that
send us
place
some
on
pictures,
they
yeah.
got a strawberry gin. Maybe I'll dabble in that in a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah. We just got
Oh,
a bunch.
strawberry lemonade.
Ooh.
Yes, strawberry Tom Collins. There you go.
Boom.
Hey, we're up to something.
I don't know how we got there, but look at that.
You know.
Fontaine, what about
Sorry, that's my answer.
I don't know what it was, to be honest. We
Neither
just started
do I.
talking about Tom Collins.
yeah, let's transition out of the period. You know, it's no longer dry January.
Yeah, of course. So
Bigger and better times.
yeah, thinking of brighter days in the future, when we're back, I think 2021 got into wine, started kind of paying attention to what wine I'm drinking and like figuring out kind of what I like. Made some progress there. I think I want to continue that. I think I've kind of narrowed a region down for reds, and like now I want to kind of keep narrowing that down and like whittle my way through there. And also I want to do the same with whites this summer because I don't really know what I like with whites yet. I got to figure that out. And then overall with booze though, I think I want to just get better I want to get better at making cocktails at home that aren't just bourbon on the rocks or vodka soda. Like I want to figure out how to have more like routine cocktails that aren't just like, I think we talked about it a few episodes ago of like in college, all you drink is like mixies, right? It's vodka and something, or, tequila and soda or beer, right? Like or rum and cokes, like it's like A plus B. I want to try and get like A plus B plus C plus D and like have that be a regular cocktail that I drink. That's not just vodka sodas. I gotta expand the repertoire a little bit here and like have, because I have so much crap in my bar cart from making our cocktails of the week and just buying like little pints of this and that all the way. So it's like, there's got to be better ways to use that than just dumping it in with Coke. Like I want to find more creative ways to make like, I don't need to make any kind of ridiculous cocktails here, but like just have a few more in the up my sleeve than just like adding soda water or cola to whatever alcohol I have. Like I want to expand that. So that's 2022's goal is like, even if it means keeping like a thing of lime or lemon juice or like grapefruit juice or whatever, right? Something like that in the fridge to go with that soda, and then have like, I don't know, like if you're doing whiskey, right? You got like your bitters or like having like a simple syrup, like stuff like that. Like just having that in the fridge to then be able to make a like halfway decent cocktail and not just throw some Mandarin orange Canada Dry with my Tito's and going from there. We're trying to expand. We're trying to grow. 2022 is a year of growth. Okay. That's where my booze journey is heading in 2022. I hope I am disciplined enough to hold myself to that and actually do that because it sounds really fun. But we'll see. We'll touch back in 12 months and see how I did on those goals. But those are my booze goals for 2022. Eric, how about yourself?
I'd say, gosh, one of my latest goals is to perfect my espresso martini recipe.
Ooh.
I need to
I had a pretty life-changing espresso martini when I was in Orlando a couple weeks ago. And long story short, they slow drip their espresso with pisco, which is a type of liquor. So instead of slow dripping it with water, they slow drip it with liquor. And they use a pretty specific espresso liqueur instead of like Kahlua. And it's just those two ingredients, and it is stupid.
That sounds.
So I'm working on trying to build off of that. So that's the current goal. But as I've said on this podcast many times, my drinking changes very seasonally. So while it's an espresso martini right now, by the time the warmer weather comes around, not exactly sure what it'll be. Similar to Joe, 2021 was a very heavy seltzer year for me. So we'll see where it takes us. There's I feel like every day there's a new seltzer, a new hard canned cocktail coming out. So maybe we'll have to report back in a couple of months on the latest trend once the season turns. But for now, it's perfecting that espresso martini recipe. And Matt, just to comment off of what you just said, lemon juice, lime juice, simple syrup are something that I always make sure I have, because you can make so many things with just those ingredients.
Yep. And I'm slowly learning. It's like I see it. I haven't been disciplined enough to make myself do it as well. Like I see that's just those are staples, right? Like can make fucking 7 different cocktails with the different booze that I have to go with those things. And it's like instead I just have
and a little
seltzer
vermouth.
water
Always
hanging
gotta
around.
have
It's
some
like
vermouth.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think those are going to be the staples, and then I'll slowly learn how to adapt from there. But because I like what you said with the food. Like I like the copycat thing. I think I want to try doing that with my booze.
And that's kind of like
that'll trigger me to go to the store and get some stuff.
Yeah, like I just said with the espresso martini, it was like I got the idea of trying to make my own recipe from this one I had in Florida.
Yep. I think I'm gonna pull that in my booze game this year. A little copycat.
Yeah, like it. Michael?
Yeah, I think for me, it's going to be similar to my goal to explore the state of Michigan playing golf. I've really, I've talked about it quite a bit, at length on this podcast, that at the end of the day, my go-to liquor is bourbon, and it's clear as day. We all go through phases, right? Enjoying tequila and, vodka. I don't really like gin, so Tom Collins is not on my list, Joe, of things that I want to get involved in. But I really want to explore the state of Michigan and see what these distilleries have to offer. Journeyman Distillery in western part of the state is supposed to be really cool. They actually have like 18-hole putting course on site, which is supposed to be really cool. Making the trip back and forth to Chicago, that should be an easy one to do. If I don't do that in the next 6 months, I guess, hopefully once the weather gets, so if I don't do that between April and June, I'm just a lazy motherfucker. So we'll put that out there, hold myself accountable. But then just, let's spend a little time on a weekend and, drive 45 minutes to a distillery, or drive an hour and a half, or do a long weekend or something like that. Like there's plenty of cool places, and I really enjoy the process, and really enjoy kind of hearing about, hey, how they make it at this location. How are the ingredients that they source, from the area? How does that affect the taste? How long is this sitting in barrels? Like, I just think there's so much to learn about just, the process of distilling alcohol in general, but because I enjoy bourbon so much, I really want to learn more about that. So, just want to travel a little bit and really kind of enjoy all that stuff that's going on around me, try some new stuff. But yeah, no, excited. Another journey along the way for 2022.
Absolutely. We had a big year 2022, boys. A lot going on the golf course.
Big year.
We got some food and booze, some ambitious goals in that realm too. It's going to be fun to chase all these things down. And Joey, I just hope you get more Tom Collins in your life. That's really all. That's what I'm hoping for the most in 2022.
Yeah, like I said, it's an occasional drink. It depends on the food. More of a bourbon guy, just like Mikey said himself. But it's just depends on my mood.
Joey, if you find yourself in Ann Arbor, I know a great place for a Tom Collins.
Don't fuck with me, Michael.
I'll send you a link.
I don't fuck around when it comes to Tom Collins. Just know this.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah,
boys.
Well, until next time.
Until next time, we got anything else for 2022?
I don't think so.
All righty.
All right,
Looking
catch
forward
you-
to seeing you.
Go, actually. Let's fucking go. Number 1 seed. Woo-hoo.
All right, boys.